everyone, and as always, thank you once again for tuning into SuppTalk Radio. As a reminder, you can listen to us on iTunes, YouTube, Podcast Garden, as well as Stitcher Radio, keyword SuppTalk. My guest today is a graduate of Arizona State University, is also active in the United States Air Force, and unlike a lot of my other guests, besides coming out with an actual brand, he's actually a bodybuilder himself. So we're going to go all down all different paths of health and wellness, fitness, what's right and wrong with the industry, and obviously talk about his product brand as well. Folks, allow me to introduce Charles, owner and president of Beyond Alpha Nutrition. Charles, welcome to the show.
Hey, Sean. Appreciate you having me on today. I'm looking forward to this talk.
No, and I appreciate you taking time. So, folks, Charles and I kind of connected on Instagram. We just started talking about the good and bad of the industry. And just to be transparent, a lot of you folks that might follow me, one of my biggest gripes right now is companies that have both in their product line products that are both fully transparent and then other products that are prop blended, i.e. they might have a pre-workout that is full disclosure and a fat burner that is proprietary blended. And I don't understand it. I get all these different reasons. But anyway, that's one of the things that I wanted to talk to Charles about because him and I kind of share a lot of the same philosophy. And again, thought it'd be great to kind of talk about his program and talk about everything else. But Charles, again, thank you. What are your thoughts on this? What do you perceive when you see people coming out with two different kind of labels in their product line?
So originally the whole proprietary blend went back to the fact that a lot of companies saw it as competition. So if I have product A and it has all these ingredients and it works great, I don't want my competitor to see exactly what's in product A because they can come out with the same thing and essentially sell it. And that's great for the company. And in some aspects, I understand that if you have this awesome, let's say, pre-workout, and it's amazing. They don't want people to know the secret. But on the other side, and this is what I had to gripe with, is as a consumer, I have every right to know what I'm putting in my body. Regardless of your take on the FDA and Big Pharma and prescription drugs, when you get a prescription, you know exactly what it is, you know exactly what the dosage is, and it's been measured out. It's what it says on the label.
Yes.
So if I'm buying a supplement, and personally, and this is, why I stand fully behind open dose labels, and this is why I made my product that way and sort of my company that way. If I'm buying something, I want to know exactly what's in it because I'm informed, with ingredients and the dosages. I can go onto Google because, it's 2018, and I can see the studies, what's an effective dose of beta-alanine or what's an effective dose of L-citrulline, in trained athletes. So if I'm going to buy a supplement, you better believe I want to make sure my money, I'm getting what's needed. And that's funny because actually a lot of those, supplements that come out with the proprietary blends and stuff, people have to end up double, triple dosing it because, essentially one scoop wouldn't be effective, even that's what the directions say to do. And lo and behold, if you're taking 3 scoops of a supplement, that supplement company is making money off of you because you're buying 2-3 tubs of their product, per month.
Correct. See, and here's my gripe because it seems like it's becoming more and more prevalent with these brand new companies that are opening up. And I always question the new companies that are opening up doing the prop blends, and they're same response all the time is, well, I don't want to be ripped off. I can respect that, but if the product is that good, any of the big brands, the BSNs, the Cellucors, anything, can take that product to a lab, have it reverse engineered for, I've heard a couple of $1,000, and break down the formula and copy it anyway. So that answer does not hold water with me. And as I always tell them as well, look, you're a brand new company. You might have $1,000 in sales. You're not even on the radar of anybody to want to copy your product. So again, I just don't understand it. We could sit here for hours talking about this, but that's me.
Exactly. And it's funny you mentioned that too, as the smaller companies, because, and in reality, a lot of small companies, yeah, we can't exactly compete with, the BSNs and, the huge players out there, who a lot of them do have those proprietary blends. So I think what could give the smaller companies an edge is giving consumers what they want. And I think what's unfortunate with all these, newer companies, like you said, and a lot of times I see them sort of as like fly-by-night companies. And why I say that is because it's fairly easy to go to a supplement manufacturer and to pick up a blend that's already been made, slap a label and a brand on it.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't notice a lot of these cheap formulas. I mean, you can get them as low as like, $4 or $5 a bottle. So you're essentially paying dirt cheap for the supplement. You'll slap a logo on there, slap something cool, like something. I have one on, like, unfortunately, there aren't any brands out there, but like, some catchy name.
Yep.
And then they'll throw it on Instagram, with some hot chick, showing her booty, and it sells, man. And that's great. That's whatever. That's capitalism. It's free market, so I have to support that. But it is unfortunate to see people get taken advantage of because they're paying $40, $50 for something that literally costs $4 because there's no ingredients in there. There might be, but it's not going to be the dosages, man, which you need, or to give you those long-term benefits for performance training.
Yes, and I think, and again, just like yourself, I'm all about capitalism. The supplement industry is multi-billion dollars. Who might have stopped somebody from taking a piece of that pie? But I think there's so many people out there that think, oh, I've got $5,000, I've got $8,000, $10,000. I can go and open up a supplement company, and let's face it, there'll be 100. I'm probably underestimating 100 companies opening up this year. And then you might have 10% of that, even maybe 5% of that, that'll go into year 2, 3, and 4, and maybe even turn into something.
Yeah, and that's true. I think what a company has to do to set the difference is they have to find a niche. And that's like sort of what we've really tried to do the past 2 years. We try to find a niche of customers who like the product, who like the brand, and especially through word of mouth to get that support, because it could have been really easy for me 2 years ago when I started the company to go take the product, make a bunch of super sexy Facebook ads and sell it all overnight. But I wanted it to grow organically, and with the company though, I really believe in my product, and I really believe in sort of our mission, and that's to give transparent dosages that work, quality ingredients, things that have been clinically studied. I'm not throwing L-arginine into my pre-workout because that's not been shown to increase nitric oxide, even though still 80% pre-workouts have that. It blows my mind. So I really want people to have a good experience with my product. And I'll probably talk about this a little bit later about where we're taking our business. It's sort of, we're trying to bring into more an all-encompassing package for our consumer. And we're excited about that. 2019, we got some things on set, and I'm really looking forward to it because it's one more way for me to serve my customer. And I don't think a lot of companies look at it that way. I'm here to serve my customers, to give them a good product and a good experience. Because at one point we were all, customers and consumers.
Of course.
And I think I owe it to those people, buying my product, to give them something that, I said it's going to do.
So, Charles, as you mentioned, let's close the negativity behind us, because that's not what the show is about. Again, let's focus on you, Beyond Alpha Nutrition. Where does the name come from?
So Beyond Alpha Nutrition, it's kind of funny. I started the company. It was on one of my deployments, and I was out, and whenever I'm not flying, so how it works, you have what's called like crew rest, and you get such a time off from your last flight before you had to go in and mission plan for next flight. So on my time off, what I decided to do instead of starting my master's program, it was either, I was at a standstill. I was like, all right, I'm going to start my master's, or I'm going to start a business. And I decided, I want to start a business. And so the the name, I had a bunch of names going on. I was kind of tossing them around with my wife, who's also my business partner, and some of my friends. And Beyond Alpha, I sort of like the alpha mindset, whether it's from anything, whether it's from your daily routine, taking charge of it, or, to your workout. Being alpha at the gym. And that, by being alpha, I don't mean being an asshole and throwing your weights around, being the king of the castle. It's more of a mindset, the alpha mindset, that you're going to get what you want. So you're going to get the results that you want. So I really like that. I really like the word alpha. And Beyond Alpha was just saying that, I want to go, I want people to go beyond that. It sounds cheesy, but I want people to go beyond their training goals or workout goals, because I really believe that anybody who's in the gym and they're putting in 100%, that's going to translate to the rest of their life, health and wellness, and just their well-being in general.
So how long? So did the name come to you quickly, or was it kind of a piece of paper and a pad and just soundboarding all sorts of names to your wife?
It came actually really fairly kind of quickly. The alpha thing was kind of sticking to my mind. It kept on coming up, when I was like jotting down names and kind of brainstorming. And I was like, all right, alpha's going to stay somehow.
Okay.
So I'm keeping alpha. And then and I was just kind of thinking about my own training and my own sort of daily routines, and even to my work and stuff, how I always try to progress and things, and to progress, to go beyond. And I was like, okay, Beyond Alpha, Beyond Alpha Nutrition, and that's sort of how it came up.
Nice. And you guys have a product now out that's called Alpha Instinct. Would love to kind of talk a little bit more about that, your ingredients, and kind of continue the path here. So you have the one product. Maybe you want to go over your thought process behind the ingredients.
Yes. So Alpha Instinct is our flagship product. It's a pre-workout, but in a lot of aspects, I look at it as more than a pre-workout, because when I go over some of these ingredients, you'll see how in some ways it's almost a daily formula for cognition and for nootropics. And I'm sure a lot of your listeners have, maybe if they're into the supplements and stuff, nootropics is essentially a new realm, and you see a lot of companies come out with nootropic formulas and stuff. So essentially what that is just something to sort of help your daily focus and mental well-being. So I really believe when it comes to supplements that not everything works. And there's a few things out there that are really beneficial to you. And one of the things I do think are beneficial is a pre-training formula, because I think that's, when you go to the gym, 100%, regardless of what workout you're doing, whether you're a CrossFitter, a strongman, or a bodybuilder, or a triathlete, you need to put in the work. And I think it's really important and beneficial to have your workout backed by a pre-workout that's chock full of performance-enhancing ingredients. Now, when I say performance-enhancing, I don't necessarily mean a stimulant to hype you up to go in the gym and, run around like a monkey. I'm talking about something that's going to be, performance-enhancing, clinically proven ingredients that have been shown to, push athletes past the placebo effect.
Sure.
And so with that, of course, I wanted the pre-workout to have acute effects. And by acute effects, I mean you take it 30 minutes prior to your workout, and it lasts, for the hour or two, whatever, how long your workout is. But I also wanted to have cumulative effects. So by taking it, 5-6 days a week for a period of a month, it has a build-up effect of some of the ingredients in there to give you more health and wellness benefits. I don't see a lot of pre-workouts do that. It's all about the acute effects.
Yes.
And then you have to go buy another supplement for the cumulative effects, and you have to go buy another supplement for this. And a lot of pre-workouts don't take into effect sort of the side effects of the pre-workout. So I'm not going to throw companies under the bus, but a lot of these companies that throw really harsh stimulants in there. 1,3-dimethylamine. I know it's sort of off the market, but there is stuff that does still have it. The DMAHA. These stimulants, they really tax the nervous system and your adrenal glands. And if you're taking this stuff, and I know most people take a pre-workout every time they work out. That could be anywhere from 3 days a week to 6 days a week, or 7 days a week even. That stuff, it's not good for you if you're not taking breaks. And a lot of times, pre-workout don't have sort of, if you look at Eastern medicine, sort of yin and yang, right? Opposing effects. So it'll have the stimulant, but there's nothing to sort of smooth out that stimulant or to sort of an anti-stress or adaptogen effect to negate the effects of that stimulant.
No, you're exactly right.
Yeah, and so when I was making the pre-workout, the formula, what I would essentially do, what this came from is I used to buy all the ingredients in bulk. This is before I made the company. Because I would do the research and I would look at the studies, and this is available to everyone. You could go onto Google, you could go to PubMed, you could research all the ingredients. So I would buy all the ingredients in bulk, and I would mix it together, and it would taste like food crap.
Yeah, of course.
Because it was just base bulk ingredients. But it would work, and it would work, and it would suit my needs. And, eventually I was like, you know what? I see some things wrong with the supplement industry. I want to share my experience, and I want to share the, sort of my formulation with other people who sort of want what I want. And what I wanted was something that would give me a great workout. I want a good pump. I want good vascularity. I want mental focus. But I want something that's not going to give me a crash, and I want something that's going to have sort of cumulative effects over time if I'm taking it weekly. I want something that's going to, have the nootropic effects of, cognition, and I want it to have an herb or two in there that's going to help be an adaptogen. An adaptogen is something that helps the body sort of handle stress.
Mm-hmm.
And that's on my pre-workout, specific to that, I put Rhodiola rosea in there, and it's 200 milligrams of that. And that herb has actually been clinically studied for its anti-stress effects, and it also helps lower anxiety and helps fight depression. So what that does is essentially helps the body handle stress. And so not only stress of the gym and stress of life, but stress of the stimulants, because Alpha Instinct does have stimulants in it. It does have 300 milligrams of caffeine, because caffeine is, proven performance enhancer. But, I know that taking caffeine day in, day out, it's going to affect the adrenals, and it's going to affect your tolerance. So that's why I wanted to have that opposing ingredient in there that can help negate those effects. That I can take it, not get super used to it. And also I can, take the pre-workout in the morning if I need to work out in the morning, and I still have sustained energy throughout the day in sort of a well-being effect. And I'll tell you, man, so many of my customers love our product because they're nurses, they're students. I have a lot of military and law enforcement that take it, and they don't have the time to deal with a crash of a pre-workout supplement. So they might take it before a shift, 5, 6 a.m., take their pre-workout, and they don't want to have that crash later on because of their job.
Sure.
And I was the same way. I don't want something, I want something that's going to get me so amped up and hyped up for 2 hours of the day, but lo and behold, I still have the rest of my day. And I think it's sometimes funny that, people, they'll take these pre-workouts and stuff, and they'll say, "Oh my God, it was amazing for the 2 hours I was in the gym, but the rest of the day I couldn't stay awake. I was falling asleep." So it's like, how is that really benefiting you?
Well, yeah, exactly. It's a short-term fix.
Outside the gym, how is that really benefiting your life? It's not. It's having a negative effect. And granted, if I was taking something and I couldn't stay awake the rest of the day, maybe there's some ingredients there that aren't that good for you.
Well, that's it. And let's face it, regardless of when you work out, you're supposed to be, your endorphins are supposed to be higher, and you're supposed to, quote unquote, be on a high. That's the last thing you want to do after exercise is want to go take a nap.
And, I don't have the luxury of, being able to take a workout in the morning and sleep the rest of the day. So, I needed something that was going to be like, hey, man, it's going to give me the heat effects in the gym, but it's also going to give me sustained energy and sort of, it's funny, a lot of our customers, one of like the overwhelming feedback we have is the pre-workout makes them feel good. Because of some of the natural nootropics we put in there, and we don't use any of those really harsh stimulants, and so they like it because they feel good, and they have energy for the rest of the day, and they don't feel like crap because they're crashing, and trying to make it to dinner time.
Yeah, exactly. And Charles, I don't want to break down every single ingredient because you've got the citrulline malate, you've got creatine anhydrase, beta-alanine, all well dosed, and I'm not here to blow any smoke. The one thing I see on here, I just want to question, you got VitaFiber. What is that exactly? What's the purpose of that in the product?
Yeah, so essentially that is, and that this goes to sort of our basis that we don't want artificial dyes or flavorings in the product. And it's pretty hard to do because with the taste masking of ingredients is a process in itself. And luckily, my manufacturer was pretty good with working with me and getting this pomegranate flavor going. So pretty much we didn't want to use any artificial sweeteners, and then we didn't want to use any food dyes. So the VitaFiber, what that is essentially it's a natural flavoring, but it acts as a fiber source too. It's kind of cool actually. So as a fiber source though, it's a prebiotic fiber, so it does give you actual digestion benefits.
Okay.
And when my manufacturer told me about that, was really cool because I was like, all right, well, I haven't taken a pre-workout before that's has a source of fiber, and lo and behold, a prebiotic fiber, so it's actually giving my intestines benefits. So it's actually a pretty cool addition in there that actually helps flavor the product.
So,
and some people will see that, there is 12 grams of carbohydrates in the pre-workout, and 3 of those grams come from the fiber. So there's essentially 8 grams of sugar in the pre-workout because we naturally flavor it with cane sugar. And some people will freak out seeing 8 grams of sugar. But listen, even if you're doing like a ketogenic diet, 8 grams of sugar is not going to knock you out of ketogenesis. If it does, you're probably taking in more carbohydrates than you think you are. So it's really a non-effect. If anything, that small insulin spike actually helps drive ingredients into the muscles prior to your workout.
So Charles, will the VitaFiber then, because again, I hear the fiber obviously out of this thing. So does this slow down the absorption a little bit? So is it more a little bit of maybe a time release, or am I saying that wrong with your product?
No, so I mean, will do that. It's a pretty small amount though, because there's still the 8 grams of sugar. So anytime you combine, fast acting. Let's say like dextrose or something like that, something like really fast acting with like maybe something slower digesting like maltodextrin or waxy maize.
Yep.
The two will sort of combine together, and but I don't want people looking at that sort of as a source of fiber. It still is fiber, but it was more for, again, like the
flavoring
with the
aspect.
flavoring. But what I do want people to take away is that it's a prebiotic fiber, so it does have digestion benefits that other fiber would have.
Okay.
But again, like I don't want people looking at this as like a sole fiber supplement. If you're not getting that fiber, there's psyllium husk and other ways to supplement with that. If you can't meet it through your dietary needs.
So, Charles, when people order this, because I'm looking at the one scoop is 31 grams. So, when people are ordering this, does it almost look like a protein bucket and a protein scooper almost?
It's funny because people, and unfortunately, I think this is a byproduct of concentrated pre-workouts in the market, right? Because that was like the whole craze for a few years. Is a concentrated pre-workout. Okay, well, concentrated pre-workout. What am I getting in it? Why am I needing 3 scoops? And it ends up becoming, essentially almost like what my scoop is.
Sure.
Well, it's because there's not enough ingredients to give you the effects. So when people see the size of my scoop, they're just like, "Oh, why is it so big?" I'm like, "Well, because it has all the dosages that you need.
Yep.
So it's going to take up some space, So people are surprised by that, and it's one of those things that I'm not saying that the size of the scoop necessarily makes or breaks a pre-workout, but if I see a product with a bigger scoop, I'm thinking, hey man, I'm getting more ingredients and I'm getting more of the dosages because it's going to be heavier weight, and that's going to more volume for the serving.
No, definitely. And again, I hope you didn't take it as being negative. If people order this here, I don't.
No.
Just like sticker shock, not sticker shock, but basically, I guess, product shock. But again, like you said, though, if you add up everything, you've got 4,000 milligrams of this, 3,000 milligrams of that. It's going to be a hefty scoop, and you get what you pay for.
Yeah, and that's I was just laughing because it's funny because a lot of people they when they give me feedback or they take the product for the first time, or even like when they're buying it, sometimes we'll get some messages or something like that, or on Instagram or Facebook, and they'll be like, 31 grams, that's a big scoop. And they're like, it's almost like a protein scoop, and I'm like, yeah, it's because it's got everything you need in it, man. Check out the ingredients. So I think a lot of people were so used to taking those the concentrated pre-workouts and with small scoops because they really don't have that much in them besides the stimulants. And I'm not here to hate against stimulants because stimulants do have their place and they can be effective. But with those stimulants, to really have performance enhancing effects in the gym, you need all the ingredients for pumps, vascularity, blood flow. You need the ingredients to help strength, so beta-alanine and creatine, and also I know some people look at nootropics sort of as stimulants, but they're not a stimulant in the fact that something like caffeine, but they help that mental clarity, the focus, and the cumulative effects. So, I want all that stuff in my pre-workout. I want a big scoop, man. I don't want a concentrated pre-workout. Give me everything.
Well, exactly, and I think that's one of the problems, and one of my bigger thing in general with the population in general is we're just too over caffeinated, and that's another thing that I see too with some of the prop blends that and again, I'm not here to make this a whole prop blending bashing show, but I have noticed now though that they have their prop blends and they have 5,000 milligrams, 2,000 milligrams, but they are listing the actual amount of caffeine. So I don't know if that's just so that people know, I want something strong, and they get focused right on the caffeine and less focused on the actual active ingredients. And maybe I'm wrong.
No, and I have seen that, and I will say that I am happy to see them do that because I really think it's important for people to know how much caffeine they're taking.
Yes.
Because when you have people, people do that, they do 2-3 scoops of something, but man, if you're taking more than 600 milligrams of caffeine at once, you are not in for a good place. And if more than 600 milligrams of caffeine at once to you feels normal, you really need to take a break from caffeine. And I'm not saying that as a recommendation. I'm saying you need to take a break from caffeine. Because at the end of the day, caffeine is a drug. It is addictive. It's a great ingredient, but there's tolerances and there's thresholds. And I think it's for any supplement manufacturer company, it's a responsibility for them with something like that caffeine that they should put the amount in there. you know, if you go out and you a lot of like coffee, you know, you buy like a cold brew coffee at the store, something like that, like a single serving.
Sure.
A lot of times they'll tell you, this has about between 100 to 120 milligrams of caffeine. So yeah, supplements they should do the same because outside pre-workouts, people do drink coffee and tea throughout the day or soda if they do. And I think that's a really important ingredient to sort of track throughout your day, because I've been there before. I've been there where I was taking up to a gram of caffeine a day, man.
When you were in boot camp, I'm sure you're probably not overdosing, but you're in boot camp. You're probably taking a lot of caffeine, and I'm sure.
Well, what's funny because like in the initial training, you're not allowed to have any type of caffeine.
Oh, okay.
So, but like I remember, back when I was going through flight school, I'd have mornings where I was waking up at 3, 4 a.m. To essentially go in and get prepared for the flight that day, and then get ready for my brief, then actually go fly, then come back, debrief, and then by the time I get home, it'd be 5, 6 p.m. And sometimes if I did want to make it to the gym, I'd be taking caffeine, not to mention the caffeine I was taking throughout the day, and so yeah, it adds up, especially on deployments and stuff before, based on like the sort of the shifts that we do. I've seen myself get up to those dosages up to a gram, and it's really one of those things where you got to track, because when I see myself get to that, I'm like, wow, okay, time for a break.
Yeah,
I'll take a week off caffeine. It's going to suck, but I need it. I need to get down to where 200 milligrams of caffeine gives me that effect that I need. I'm not taking, over a gram of caffeine a day. They're really not that good.
I don't know if the FDA, they're obviously involved in the true pharmaceutical and drug side of the business. I don't know if they'll ever make a mandate where, full disclosure labels are a necessity. But I think the one thing, like I think we're alluding to here, is I think the FDA should make a mandate of any kind of stimulants, caffeine, or any not offsets, but any derivatives of caffeine should be specifically labeled on a product. But again, that's just my 2 cents.
No, I think so too. With caffeine, with any type of stimulant, so any of the other designer stimulants that are coming out, I think those need to be disclosed. And I especially think that should have been the case back when the 1,3-dimethylamine was huge. Back, remember the Jack 3D pre-workout?
Jacked and craze.
Yeah, Jack, man, it had the 1,3 in it. People love that stuff, and I remember at the time when that was out, I was actually I was in college. I was working at the vitamin shop, and that stuff would just fly off the shelves. But you'd have people taking 2-3 scoops of Jack 3D, and probably they're probably getting somewhere close to maybe 80 to 100 milligrams of the 1,3,
yep,
which is a pretty big dose. And it's just, I remember it was comical because I'm sure a lot of people know now the side effects of the 1,3, especially in males. It caused a bad side effect is it caused ED, erectile dysfunction. And 1,3-dimethylamine is known to do that. So to have guys come into the shop saying, "Oh my God, I love this Jack. I'm taking it. It's so awesome in the gym, but
I can't take care of my business at night."
Yeah, I can't perform with my girlfriend that night. So they come in, and they would maybe find something like I saw online that Yohimbe is a natural alternative to Viagra.
Yep.
Well, I'm like, okay, well now you're combining Yohimbe with caffeine with 1,3-dimethylamine. Have you looked at your blood pressure? You're like, why is your face beet red? It's probably because your blood pressure is through the roof because you're taking these 3 crazy stimulants together. But they didn't know because the blend didn't disclose the amount of stimulants in that.
Yeah, exactly. So, hey, weird question, and I'm going to put you on the spot, and obviously it's personal preference, but the product, we go back to your product here, the Alpha Instinct, so it's pomegranate. I'm not a big pomegranate eater, but I know sometimes pomegranate is a little bit more on the bitter side. Yes or no? And so is it sweetened? Is it sweet with the vitafiber, or I guess what can people expect for a flavor standpoint? And I know it's dependent on water or how much water you put in your product.
So I will say this when it comes to when it comes to the flavor of the pomegranate, and even just
Or
sort
tart.
of
Maybe tart's
the
the right word.
experience. Yeah, it is a little tart. I get some different opinions. It's funny because a lot of people say it tastes like vitamin water.
Okay.
And to me, vitamin water is sort of like a sweet taste.
Okay.
So the pomegranate, and the reason why we have one flavor is because with the amount of ingredients that we had, that was the best flavor to mask it. And we have beetroot powder in the pre-workout, and beetroot's for cardiovascular health, but also increases blood flow, so it's in there for the pump. But it's the color of beetroot is pretty much like what it sounds like, right? Like it's a purplish pink color. So it really took it took abundance in the color of the product. So I was like, okay, I kind of want something that's gonna kind of relate to that. It'd be weird to have like a lime flavor and the product looks like red. So the pomegranate flavor actually worked out the best to mask the ingredients, and it really came down between that and we had like a strawberry type flavor. And the strawberry originally it was just way too tart. It honestly didn't taste like strawberry. I'm not sure what it tasted like. But the pomegranate was kind of we liked it, but now based on user feedback, people either they love the taste or they hate the taste. There's really no in between. And so a lot of the negative feedback we get is really just on the flavor. We don't really have negative feedbacks as far as the performance of the product.
Okay.
But a lot of people don't like the flavor, so they'll be like, well, I'll chug it. I love the effects of it, and I love what it does for me, but I'm not big on the flavor. So, and that's something we got in the works. I know I mentioned to you that later on next year, we're sort of phasing into a new pre-workout formula, and we've listened to our customers because that's what you need to do.
Of course.
And we're looking into some different flavoring options and sort of trying to make it appealing to everyone as opposed to, half and half.
So are you going to keep the initial formula, or are you going to tweak that a bit?
So I do plan on tweaking the formula a little bit. There's some new research out on some ingredients and some things that look cool to me. I've tried separately. And so with everything, I really like to try ingredients separately. Like I'll try it for like a week or sometimes like even a month if it's something that's supposed to have a cumulative effect. Like right now, I'm sort of experimenting with ashwagandha, which is an herb. It's supposed to be like sort of like the Rhodiola rosea that's in my pre-workout. It's a adaptogen, so it's supposed to help you with anti-stress. It's supposed to be calming. So I've been experimenting with that, seeing how that affects my mood, seeing how that affects my focus. And with something like that, I like to give it a month. But let's say it's something like L-tyrosine, which is an amino acid that's sometimes used as like a nootropic. I'll give that maybe a few workouts for a week. See, hey, yeah, this works, or no, I don't really think that's too effective.
So aside from that, is there anything else you're looking at to come out? Maybe something else in the product line?
Yeah. So with we're looking to reformat the pre-workout, but we would still have stock of the current Alpha Instinct into next year, because we do have a lot of customers who still really like this original formula. We're looking at bringing possibly I hate the word fat burner, but a fat burner.
Okay.
Fat burner to mix, but and I tell this to people all the time, a fat burner is not gonna make you lose the weight. You still got to put in the work, right?
Sure.
So any supplement is just the icing on the cake to diet and exercise. It's there to give you that extra 5% edge that you wouldn't have without it. So, we along with our pre-workout, we do diet plans on our website, and we work with people for their dieting needs, and whether it's most of our clients have been looking for the fat loss, so that's why I'm sort of looking to bring something out to sort of be the icing on the cake for fat loss. But we do have people also who look for meal plans as far as like muscle gain, but the majority is people looking to lose 10, 20 pounds and get look a little bit better in the mirror.
So with your, since we'll open up that other door here, so we give people a full understanding of what you guys do with your diet plans. Are you subscribing to a certain macros or keto, or do you really, I guess, how do you break down who needs what, or do you really have different plans for different people?
It's different plans for different people, because I don't think one diet necessarily fits everyone, and
not a lot of people understand that.
Thing, it does, and that's one thing that sort of bugs me about the fitness industry, because people will go on to like a fitness model like Instagram, be like, what do you eat every day? Like, I didn't know what you're eating every day. Well, that works for that guy. That works for his metabolism. That works for his training routine. That works for his lifestyle. It might not necessarily work for you. Someone might feel really good off a ketogenic diet, and they just naturally they feel better off fats. Whereas some people, they can handle carbohydrates. They can handle 400 grams of carbohydrates a day and not put an ounce of fat on, and it really helps their performance. And they don't feel good unless they have carbohydrates. So I'm not going to put someone who can handle carbohydrates and they feel really good with carbohydrates and it works for them. I'm not going to put them on the keto diet just because right now keto diet's the craze.
Yep.
I'm not going to do that just for that reason. And I want a lot of people to understand that just because a diet works for someone doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you. You got to look at your lifestyle. You got to even look at what foods agree with you, because I like foods that work for me, not against me. Just because red meat's supposed to be great for muscle building. I know I don't digest red meat that well.
Okay.
But I also know the benefits of red meat. How good it is and what how many minerals and vitamins it has in it. But for me, if I have a steak, it doesn't digest that well. So if someone put me on a carnivore diet, I'd be in the bathroom all day.
Gotcha.
And that wouldn't work for me. So we really like to look at our clients, like what their needs are, and look at it from like a holistic approach as opposed to just, hey, you gotta lose 10 pounds.
Yep.
By any means, and so sort of where we're taking our business to, in our plans for 2019 is we're looking to make alpha nutrition sort of an encompassing business. And so my wife, Heidi, she's also my business partner. She's the vice president. She's going through her personal training certifications.
Oh, nice.
And so she's about to finish that up. But, she's very knowledgeable on training and even, the dieting. And she comes from like sort of like a more holistic background. Growing up, she, her and her family were very into, using herbs and vitamins as opposed to, over-the-counter medications. So she comes from that background too. So we're looking to take Beyond Alpha somewhere where I can have a customer come to me. They can get their training, they can get their diet, and they can also get their supplements and their supplement advice. Because right now, as a consumer, most people, they have to go to their local supplement shop or online, and they get their supplement. And, depending on who's working at the store, they might know about the supplement, they might not. But then for their diet, they have to go to somewhere else online.
Yep.
Or in person and get that. And then for their training, they have to go somewhere else. They have to go to the gym, or they got to go onto an online training program, get that. So I want to give my customer sort of a well-rounded experience.
One-stop shop.
From the supplements. Yeah. So, they can get their supplements, their supplement knowledge, all the way up to, the diets, the diet plans, the nutritional advice up to, their training. So that's sort of where we're looking at taking the business, not necessarily just a supplement business, but something that's sort of, like you said, an all-in-stop shop.
Charles, did you meet your wife in college? Because I know you both went to the same university.
Yeah, actually, it's kind of funny. We went to the same elementary school. I think we were actually in the same fifth grade class together, but it's funny because I don't really remember her. I guess she remembers me. I guess she had a crush on me in elementary school.
Wow.
But then we went to different junior highs and high schools, and then we met back up in college through mutual friends. We found out that, hey, we used to go to school together, and we ended up hanging out and stuff. So yeah, we essentially started dating in college.
Nice, Charles. For people that want to go ahead and try their throw their hat into the supplement game, what advice do you have for people, good, bad, or different?
I would say do it. I'm really big on entrepreneurship and side incomes and passive income. I'm really into just in general, sort of a lot of part of me is I'm into investing and just into increasing sort of wealth as much as you can. And I think starting a business is a great way to do that in that aspect. So if you're looking to try something, as opposed to if you have 20 grand, maybe instead of putting it into the, into the market or trading, maybe you could look at starting a business. And not saying just a supplement business, but just in general. But when it comes to a supplement business, yeah, there's that aspect of it, any business is there to make money, but also, yeah, and it depends on the ethics of the person, but, I really think, if you're making supplements, you got to remember, people are putting these into their body, and at the end of the day, I really want someone to remember that. Someone out there that you don't know is taking this product, and they're consuming it on a daily basis, and it's going to have your name behind it. And, sort of let that sink in. So if you're going to make a product, do your due diligence on supplements. Talk to chemists, talk to people in the field, do your research, and, frankly, put a good product out. Don't put something out there that's going to be fly by night. And but then again, you totally can. Like you said, it's a free country. It's capitalism, man. You can do what you want. But I think if you want to make a good name for yourself and make your customers happy and serve your customers, put something out there that's going to be good.
Yeah, exactly. And Charles, to come full circle from the very beginning of our conversation, you obviously have a full disclosure label. You subscribe to that mentality. Aren't you afraid someone's going to rip off your blend? I'm sorry, rip off your ingredient panel?
Not necessarily. And, we're still a pretty small company. So, if someone like, the big players out there comes and takes my my ingredients, my exact formula, I'll be flattered, man. It's the ingredients I have are no secret. I tell that to people all the time. It's no secret, man. And there's a lot of formulas out there that have a lot of the ingredients that mine do, and some at the same dosages. And I'm really not gonna. To me, it wasn't worth my ethics to put out a proprietary blend, because that's the whole reason I made this pre-workout and made this company, because I wanted to share with people what I found works, and I want them to know what it is that works. But yeah, of course, there's that. It was definitely in my mind when I did make this formula. I was like, man, someone could just take this from me and put out the same thing and have better advertising than me, and just totally scam my product.
Yep.
But that's it is what it is, man. That's what a free market is. So I gotta respect that, and and I think that's any company who makes full dose labels. I fully support that, but of course there is that part of it where it's like, hey, it's all out there in the open, so any competitor can see exactly what you put in there. But at the same time, I think that gives us a competitive edge. It makes our customers happy.
Exactly. And another question. So you're into almost year 2. I think you said 2 years now. If you know now what you didn't know back then, would you have still opened the company?
Yeah, I've had a blast doing this company. I've met a lot of people. I've met a lot of friends just from being my customers. The gyms we worked out at, we built customer bases, and I honestly, man, I love talking subs. I love talking diet, nutrition, and it's been a blessing, man. Even just to start it, and just to have met new people and new connections, and I think sometimes a lot of people kind of sort of overlook that with their businesses. The people you come in contact with, and of course, I would have done some things differently. And that's sort of my goals for taking the company in the future, is to kind of do a roundabout and try to pick up some of those things that I didn't do in the beginning.
But it's all about learning. It's all about growing.
I definitely still would have started it.
No, that's good. Charles, it's been a great conversation thus far. As things are winding down, is there anything else maybe we haven't discussed? If you want anything else you want to let the listeners know about?
Yeah. So if you want to connect with me, you go to our website to purchase the product or to look at the diet plans. It's www.beyondalphanutrition.com. Also, we're pretty active on our Instagram, and on Instagram, if you just go to the little people tab and type in Beyond Alpha Nutrition, we'll come up there. And also, we do have a Facebook page, and again, it's the same thing, Beyond Alpha Nutrition. And so both myself and my wife, Heidi, we both run our social media. And again, we're open to any questions, and we get people all the time, who aren't even necessarily, customers who purchase products, but just ask straight up questions about supplements or diet, nutrition, and training. And I'm all about talking about it. So if your listeners, check out the Instagram stuff and they like it, reach out. And also, we do samples too on the pre-workout. So if you want to try it before you buy it, I'm all about that, man. So hit us up and connect with us.
No, that's great. And do you want to give a shout out one last time to your partners?
Yeah. So again, I wanted to thanks to everyone who's helped out. Huge thanks again. She's not on the show, but my wife Heidi, she's my business partner and the VP of the company. She puts in a lot of work, with the social media, and also she deals a lot with customer service and getting orders out and everything. So she's a massive help, and she couldn't be on the show this morning because she sleeps in later than I do. She deals with our kids in the morning. So, but and again, I got a great manufacturer. My manufacturer's awesome. They make an excellent product. Yes, again, go check out the Alpha Instinct. Where it's a FDA compliant facility. It's GMP certified. Everything, and I'm really grateful that I was able to find them to build this product for me.
Cool. Well, great. Well, Charles, once again, thank you so much. And again, folks, it's beyondalphanutrition.com. And as always, feel free to drop me any emails personally. It's SuppTalk1@gmail.com. If there's any guests, any topics, anything whatsoever you'd like me to address on the show, questions, good, bad, or different, I'm all for it. As always, I appreciate your time. And Charles, continued success, my friend.
All right, well, hey, man, I appreciate you having me on the show, and I really enjoyed it. And again, if anybody also wants to reach out to us and have a discussion about anything, whether it's a product or training or nutrition, I'm here. So thanks again, Sean. I appreciate it, man.